Hello everyone, my name is Magnum and welcome to another reading of A Wilting Rose, Chapter 2. For those of you who don't know, A Wilting Rose is a story taking place in an alternate universe of Ruby. I'll give you 2 seconds to leave in case you didn't see Chapter 1 or if you don't want, anything like that to get spoiled for if you are going to listen to this or whatever, stuff like that. So okay, there you go. So that should be enough time. Chapter 2 is called The Maiden, alright? And for those of you who are caught up, no, it's probably not what you're thinking of. It isn't what you're thinking of. So let's just get started with this because I published this yesterday on Wattpad. I'm pretty excited to bring it to you. Man, I am pale. God. Let me just adjust this forward. Don't fall. Okay. Donning a cloak of moonlight, moving swiftly like a silvery wisp in the midnight wind, standing tall, yet also weakly, the figure seemingly drifts through the wind. A bit of the shining moon's rays reflect off the end of a rounded metal end, the butt of a rapier. Changing the silhouette, the figure kneels down before a block that sticks out of the ground. From the depth of the midnight cloak, a frail, yet also hardened hand reaches outward. Shaky and uncertain, the hand approaches a grave, Ruby Rose's grave. A bit of scarlet hair peeks through the opening of the cloak's hood, waving warily as a lone bang in the wind. Her lower lip bitten lightly by the upper, the woman withdraws her hand from the grave and uses it with the other in order to pull the hood back. The face revealed would seem familiar to someone who once knew her, but all the same had changed. Her kind, warm-hearted silver eyes now glimmer bright in the light reflected, bright like the light refracted from a diamond, yet stone cold like a concrete statue in the winter. The woman's once relaxed yet nervous shoulders now sat more upward, like someone who had gotten used to a constant vigilance. Her once slender figure was slightly thinner, but has become more toned in a muscular fashion, and covered with random scars and even fresh cuts. Am I still pale? I am. God. Can I turn my brightness down maybe? Wow, that actually did help. Okay. Nervous still, Summer Rose reaches forward once more. Her hand trembles in anticipation as it becomes closer and closer to the stone carving. There's an ethereal feeling in the air around her, as if the spirits of her past had surrounded her once she stepped into their realm. There was the distinctly distant crack sound again. Summer's hand falters once more, slightly retreating, but she resumes its path. The image of little Yang's face becoming fearful mostly clouds her vision, but she shakes through it and touches the grave. Suddenly, the memories of gleeful shouting, childlike playing, cookies being baked, and family moments being spent rushed into Summer's mind. A warm, tingling sensation washes her from her head to her toes, bringing her to slightly shiver in shock. Okay, so that crack was supposed to represent the sound of her whipping the whip back in the first chapter to try to catch on to Crow's scythe. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Through her happy memories, though, the darker ones pierce through once her hand retracts from the stone. Summer revisits the vision of her grainy death, sees the scene of Tai explaining to Yang and Ruby why their mother isn't going to be home for a while. She sees the pain in Crow's eyes as he draws a sword against the Beowulf, the hidden anger behind his abrupt swing. Forcing its way through the gray and grainy memories, there's a glimpse of happiness, though the memories are suppressed and shadowed. Yang watches as Yang and Ruby run toward her, before the picture flickers back to Ruby beneath the Beowulf's foot. She sees Crow's scythe narrowly catch her whip just outside the wall, followed by it sliding off and her falling. Finally, there's a sight of a simple, square photo on a table. In the picture stood 4 fresh graduates in front of a tree. Far to the right stood a younger Crow, his facial hair not having grown in yet and his eyes soft but determined. Though as of recent it appears they're always beet red and bleary, as if he's looking but not really seeing. To his right stood Raven, a former team member of Team STRQ, or as it was commonly called, Team Stark. Her hair flowed longer than Summer's ever has, reaching more than halfway down her back. Her eyes were kind and innocent, and a smile was plastered across her face, presumably since she was showing off her red armor and elegant sword. The woman that had begun to tear the team apart was vastly different than the woman in the picture. Raven used to be caring of her friends, and though hot-headed, she was also dedicated. Toward the end of their careers, though, the team members began to bicker. Raven would disappear into the night, often being chased down by Ty. Most of the time, Crow would joke about that, but he stopped when Raven was pregnant with Yang, something about it not being funny anymore. For the first few months of Raven's pregnancy, everything was like they were back at Beacon. Fun times, laughter, joy. But near the end of her pregnancy, Raven became easily annoyed and antisocial, wanting nothing to do with the team. She even went as far as to say at one point that they wanted her baby, not her. Raven disappeared into the night sometime after giving birth, almost never being seen again. When Yang was about a year old, she was left on Ty's doorstep, nearly a half year since Stork's disabandonment. Ty and Summer were still fresh into their relationship, and things were still awkward for them. But after Yang's unannounced arrival, their relationship sped past the awkward phase and directly into parenting stage. When Yang was closing in on 2 years old, Summer became slightly depressed once again. As a teenager, she was clinically depressed, facing many years of medical and psychological treatments. But when raising Yang, she seemed energetic and happy all the time, so she quit the meds. When Ty asked her what may have triggered the depression, she told him she loved Yang, but was bothered that there wasn't a daughter of her own. So, Ruby Rose was birthed into existence slightly over a half year later. To Raven's right in the picture stood Ty, the team's link to being a truly related family. He loved Raven and always did. It was that sort of relationship where one person would sacrifice themselves for their significant other, while the other one was skeptical about it. Though Raven did end up loving Ty before she lost herself. The two actually made a wonderful couple, probably better than even Summer and Ty ended up. Then, all the way on the left side of the picture stood Summer, leaning against a tree while donning the same silvery white cloak. Shaking herself from her thoughts, Summer realized tears were flowing freely down her cheeks. With a flustered look, she wipes away the tears with her sleeve before catching her eyes on the grave once more. Hesitant, Summer risks it once again, reaching forward and touching the grave. She bows her head and cries again, allowing the tears to fall from her face and onto the stone. Around her, though she didn't know it, rose petals began to flutter around, flying in a cyclone around her. Summer looks up, her tear ducts having run empty. The petals furiously waved around in a gracious manner, forming a large tunnel to the sky above her. Summer stands up, looking straight into the sky through the petal pillar. Her hand seemingly takes control, reaching into the sky. Shocking her, Summer feels as if a ghostly touch grabbed her by the hand. With a few teary-eyed blinks, she sees a young woman, possibly still a girl at that point, standing upside down above her, also looking up. Summer inspects the girl's face, noticing the mirroring silver eyes and the red streaks in her hair. She wears a black dress with a red cloak, similar to that of Summer's. The girl seemed almost identical to Summer in most ways, a sharp jaw with pudgy cheeks, eyes welled with tears, ghostly pale. Looking past the girl's appearance, Summer winces in shock as she sees the grave below the girl, the grave of Summer Rose. Purely out of shock, she draws her hand away abruptly. The rose petals flutter out in all directions, floating off into the night. Okay, so that was a little bit weird because I can't really write that well, but basically what she saw was she was looking up, just kind of like I'm looking up, except she's looking straight up. And from what she could see, it was almost as if Ruby was up. Well, she didn't know it was Ruby, but a girl was also looking up, like looking up into the same picture she was, but just kind of flipped, you know? So, like, if this were the line between their sort of timelines, this is straight for her, but she's looking like this. Yeah, looking like this. You know, hopefully you get it, because I can't really describe it that well. I thought it was a cool scene. Yeah, so that's all I have for this one. Thank you everyone for tuning into this video. I really hope you're enjoying the story because I really am enjoying writing it, and I don't have anyone to really talk to about my Ruby writings, and it's dorky, I know, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I figured I can just come on here and I can read these and I don't have to worry about anything really. That wasn't me. Sure, there can be hate comments and there can be a lot of negative criticism and, well, negative criticism and stuff like that, but I don't have to listen to it really. This isn't like a professional YouTube channel. This is supposed to be like I'm trying to share all my ideas out here with you guys, so yeah, thank you. I'll bring you another video when chapter 3 comes out. I do have like almost all the chapters planned out, and I have like almost all the thumbnails made, so they should be coming out pretty quickly. I know I had a little bit of a mishap with the first chapter upload, but I ended up getting that sorted out and everything, and just had some problems with the thumbnail and everything, so we're all set. See you in the next one.